have B207B. This is week 10 of B207B, the importance of quality. Okay, now let me hear from you. What do you think quality means? What is the definition of quality? We talked a little bit before about the concept of quality, but what do you think we mean when we say the word quality?
الجودة.
الجودة, yes, this is the exact translation in Arabic, الجودة. But what does quality mean in business terms? Yes, anyone has an idea? So when we say this is a good quality item, what do we mean by good quality? Do we all as consumers see quality as being the same? Do we see quality as the same level, in the same way?
Maybe it's
No, of
produced
course
the
not.
way that the consumer can take
It's
the
how
benefit of
long
it.
lasting an item is.
Right. So how long it lasts, and also somebody said it's from the consumer perspective, how the consumer sees it. Okay, now I want to take you a little bit to our previous lessons, maybe also back to B207A, when we said we have a target market. Okay, in marketing, remember, we have a target market. This target market has a certain marketing mix, a product, price, promotion, and place. Okay, so the product mix should be matched to the target market that I'm selling to. Okay, so if I'm selling, let's say, expensive toys for kids, definitely I have a certain target market in mind in order to sell the expensive toys to those kids. So I'm after higher income families. I'm not after lower income families or maybe middle income. I'm after the higher income if I'm selling very expensive toys. Okay, so based on that, based on who the customer is, I will have to set some quality requirements, and my product should match the quality requirements that my target consumer is expecting. Okay, my target consumer will expect a certain quality, and this is exactly what I need to match. All right, now let's take the opposite now. If I'm targeting lower income consumers, then automatically the price will be lower and the quality should match the price that the consumers will pay for the product. All right, so quality and cost, you cannot have it all. You cannot have the best quality for the cheapest price. Okay, so something should give up in order to have the right mix for your consumers. Is this idea clear so far?
Yes, everything's clear.
Yes, perfect. So quality is important because any organization that has ongoing issues with quality will ultimately suffer in a range of ways. Okay, always remember, when I say the word quality, I want to remember who is this consumer who is looking at my quality? Who is the target customer? Not anyone, not any random customer in the market. It's the quality should match exactly the target customer. If the quality doesn't match my target customer, then the quality is said to be poor. It's a poor quality for my customer. Okay, this is why before specifying the quality, I need to specify the requirement of the customer. What is it that the customer expects and requires out of my product? Okay, So please don't tell me high quality, low quality, just in general. The quality will always be dependent on the perception of the consumer. Okay? So examples of low quality issues, such as late deliveries. Okay, how do you decide it's late? Okay, it's the expectation of the customer. It's how much you told the customer his or her order will be ready or will be delivered on. Okay, so the word late, does 1 day means late? Does 2 days, 10 days, 30 days? This is an expectation of what you want to offer in your marketing mix. Okay, so issues like late deliveries or production of defective goods can adversely affect a business's relationship with customers. If you buy a product, so let's say today you buy, let's say a juice machine, okay? You buy a juicer. So this juicer, if it's defective, it doesn't work, all right? Then the quality will be affected in the eyes of this consumer, okay? This consumer will think that all the products that are coming from your brands are of a bad quality in his eyes, all right? So maybe only the juicer that you have bought is defective, not each and every juicer. This is why you need to provide this this consumer with a refund, for example, with a way for him to return this product. So it may also lead to reputational damage. If the quality is seen as poor from the eyes of the consumer, it means that the reputation of your brand will be damaged. So any quality issues that cause waste or reworking could make the cost of the operation rise. So you made the first item and it turned out to be defective. This is a cost on your operation, right? It's a cost because you have to remake, you have to redo it again in the correct manner. Many organizations target quality issues and defects in an effort to reduce them to a minimum level, often using techniques such as Six Sigma. Six Sigma, a lot of people have this certification. It's a kind of certification. So if you take the Six Sigma certificate, it means that you are now certified to work in quality. Okay, so Six Sigma is a management approach to improving business processes by reducing the probability of an error or a defect will occur. If you are interested in this area, after you get your BS degree, maybe you could move into getting this kind of certificates. So for an organization to fully manage quality, it must consider quality from the perspective of the customer. We need to understand what the customer, the target customer, needs in order for us to understand if the quality is matching to his or her needs. Organizations should measure quality in a way that equate organizational performance with the perception that customers have. So quality is commonly defined. How do we define quality? It's meeting and or exceeding customers' expectation. So if you want to have a good quality product, you have to at least meet the expectations of a customer. Okay? At least meet. So meeting or exceeding. Okay? Any questions so far regarding this part?
No.
Okay, so when it comes to achieving quality, there are certain approaches that successful organizations have in common. You know, some organizations suffer because of the quality issues, and some organizations are known to be very good organizations when it comes to quality. Toyota is a company that is known to be an extremely good company with quality. Okay, Toyota is known to reduce the quality issues by the maximum. So reduce it to the minimum level. This is what I mean. Reduce the quality issues to the minimum. Managing quality is the responsibility of the whole organization, not just a specific quality department. So it's not only the quality department that is responsible for the quality. It's the coordination of all the departments together, operations management, marketing, human resources, accounting, even accounting and finance. We need to coordinate and collaborate in order to produce high quality products in the eye of the consumers. The companies also who have high quality have internal processes that deal with the customer supplier process. So let's say marketing and operation has a certain process to do. They deal with it as a customer supplier process, yani as if marketing is the customer of operation or vice versa. When you deal internally in this manner, it means that you are giving the best you can, because usually with your customers, you give the best you can, right? Also, those successful organizations, they focus on looking for improvements. They never stop improving. They try to keep improving their processes. They try to keep on improving, and they don't stop, actually. So each and every stage has improvements to be made. Individuals take personal responsibility for delivering products or services to the customers. So whether internal or external, each individual has a responsibility to provide quality services and products of the organization. So quality has a cost, right? We should all agree that the better the quality is, the more costly it will get, because you have to make sure at each and every step that you are doing the right thing that your customer is expecting. Okay, so we have some different costs of quality costs. The first cost is called prevention cost. What does prevention mean? What does prevention mean? So we always say in the medical field, prevention is better than a cure, right? الوقاية خير من علاج, right? So prevention means وقاية. So we need to prevent those errors from happening. This is a cost. How do you prevent your errors from happening? By making sure that your production process is going according to the requirement. Okay, so this needs extra employees, maybe this needs extra checks, this needs time. All of these will need money, whether employees, whether time, whether resources. So this is the cost of prevention. The second type is called the appraisal costs. The appraisal costs means establishing and measuring the level of quality achieved in products or services. So imagine you have a factory that produces t-shirts. Okay, now after you produce the t-shirts, you want to appraise. So you want to test these t-shirts. All right, so you want to make sure that you have produced them well, according to the right size, the color, maybe the print, the cut, and so on. Okay, so you are going to take some of those t-shirts and you will be checking on them. All right, so this is not a prevention cost. Appraisal cost happens after you have finished producing your products. Okay, appraisal means testing. So you want to test your product. Okay, imagine you have for Apple phones, they appraise the phones after they produce them. Okay, so they check for the phones, they are working correctly, no faults in the phones, and so on. Another type of cost is called the internal cost. The internal cost of defects is the cost of dealing with defects when found during production. All right, so whether prevention or appraisal costs, these two are called internal. داخلي. Okay, so the customer hasn't seen the cost yet. Okay, it's still inside the organization. External costs of defects is the cost of dealing with a defect that reaches the customer. Okay, this is not a good cost. This is not a good thing for your defects or for your faulty items to reach the customer. It's better if you can prevent the mistakes reaching to the customer. But once they do, okay, the customer will look at your product as a low quality product, right? Because they will not like how it's made, they will not like how it operates, their expectations will not be met by your product, and he will be dissatisfied about this product. Okay, so the external cost is the only cost that is actually seen by the customer. So now we have some terms about quality. So we have quality assurance and quality control. The quality assurance covers all the elements needed to make sure that the finished products or service meets all the criteria given or expected by the customer. Okay, so just like the name implies, what does assurance mean? To assure something that is happening. What does assurance mean? Yes, anyone? Can you hear me? Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I thought I was disconnected or something because I didn't hear a voice. So what does the what does the word assurance mean?
Ensure of something.
Yes. So when you want to make sure that everything is going well. So when quality assurance means planning ahead of time that no mistakes will happen as much as you can, of course. Okay, this is what quality assurance means. So making sure that you have a good system where you are producing the right quality products according to the requirement. Now, the word control, quality control, it means you want to control the problems as they happen. Okay, so you want to react. So it's a reactive approach to quality. You want to react. Every time you find a mistake, you try to fix it. And of course, as much as possible, you don't let these mistakes to reach the customer. Okay, so the difference between quality assurance and quality control is that quality assurance involves planning, while quality control involves controlling the mistakes that are happening. Okay, because in quality control, if any mistakes happen, you want to avoid it. You want to try to avoid it and fix it very quickly. Okay, now Also, not only the Six Sigma, also we have an internationally recognized quality management system called the ISO 9000. ISO 9000 is also a kind of certification that companies take. It means that they meet very high quality standards. Okay, so just some terminologies for you to know about quality. Now we're going to move to reading 12. Reading 12 has tools to control quality. How do you control the quality using tools? Quality employees who work with quality use a lot of data. They use statistics. They use maybe spreadsheets and other software to track the quality that is going with their organization. Okay, so some tools that they use are, for example, a histogram. This is what a histogram looks like. I'm sure you are familiar with this type of histogram, especially if you work with Excel. A histogram can be used to show the distribution, the mean and standard deviation of data. So all of this are statistical terms that quality employees or people who work with quality use. It allows users to study the density of data and identify any pattern. So if this histogram were used to measure the quality of the products, okay, you know that number 4, this is where you have the highest defect, for example. Okay, I'm just giving an example here. It's very easy for you to see, okay, it's visual, that area number 4, this is something that I need to fix very quickly. It has a higher importance because it's more than the rest. Okay. A scatter diagram is also a statistical tool that can suggest relationships between variables and help users identify grouping of performance that stand out. So also, if you have ever worked with statistical tools before, this is called a scatter diagram. And you see that over here, we have many dots. Okay, so since we have many dots here, it means that at this area, it seems that we are having more problems than, for example, this area here. Okay, this is what a scatter diagram shows you. The Pareto chart can be used to investigate the cause of failures or quality issues with the greatest impact. Okay, so also the Pareto chart shows you where the biggest reason for mistakes is happening. Apparently, it's number 1. Okay, so this is what's the biggest reason. Now you can go back to your production and try to solve this problem. We have a checklist or a tally. A checklist or a tally is used like this. I'm sure you have used something like this at some point, especially when you were a little child. Little kids like to use this chart because it's very easy to use. So here, if we have a car manufacturer, okay, Toyota, for example, we have a car manufacturer. On Monday, 1, 2, 3 dents. Okay, dents means a small scratch or small hole on the side of the car. Okay, so on Monday we got 3 cars that have dents. On Tuesday we only have 1. On Wednesday 1. On Thursday none. On Friday none. So when you have a lot of data like this, at some point you will be able to conclude why mistakes are happening on Monday, for example. Okay, maybe employees on Monday are coming, still are not so eager to go back to work after the weekend. Okay, just an example I'm trying to assume here. All right, so all of these are tools that could help you figure out why things are happening. Now, another tool is called the cause and effect diagram. It's a useful visual tool because here you have a problem and you can come up with factors of what the problem is. So for example, the problem is a scratch on the car, for example, okay? Suppose you have a scratch on the car, so this is the problem. Now, the same scratch could be because of different factors. It could be because of one factor, two factors, three, or even 10 factors. All right? So if you understand why this problem is happening, then you might be able to solve the problem. Okay? This is what the cause and effect diagram shows you. Another tool is called stratification. Stratification is a method of dividing data into subcategories and classifying data based on group, division, class, or levels. Okay, so here we have how many dents. This is the defect type, so it happens 5 times, for example. The frequency, you are going to count how many times it's happening. The smear is happening 6 times. The hole is happening 4 times. This gives you, of course, the numbers are very simple here. They look very simple to us, but with a big production, like a car manufacturer, these numbers will only be easy to manage when they are simplified in a table like this. So these tools can be used individually, but it's always better to use them all together because each one gives you a different answer to your questions. Okay, so maybe different answers to different questions as well. So it's very good to be used all together to make a conclusion about the quality. Any questions?
No, thank you.
Okay. So now we will go to the last part, which is about reading 13. And we will discuss improving performance. For organizations that really care about their quality, as we said, they try to always improve their performance. They never say our quality is good and they just sit there and keep doing the same thing. Okay? Quality and performance are an ongoing process. It's a process that goes on and it doesn't stop. Okay? So we should always try to make more and more improvements on the quality or performance that we are having. Now, in order to improve the performance, we need to understand how our performance is. So we need to make a certain judgment about the requirements of our performance. So in stage 1, okay. So this is a matrix. It's called SLAC's Importance Performance Matrix. It's a matrix that measures the relationship between importance of quality and how quality is actually is in performance. So this matrix has 4 stages. Okay, let's move and talk about the stages one by one. Stage 1, judge the importance of performance measures to customers. Okay, so now I want to ask you a question as a customer, and you will tell me, why do you think this product is important to you? Okay, so I'm going to take the example of a smartphone. Let's say iPhone 11. All right? So when you go look for a phone, what is or what are the important factors for you to buy the phone. What is important? Is each and every feature in the phone important? Or are you selective with what you think is important for you in the phone?
Some parts of the phone are important. For
Yes.
example, the processor of the phone. If I want to buy an iPhone, I want to make sure that it's very good and it's long lasting.
It's the battery is long lasting, you mean? Or the phone itself?
The processor يعني يتحمل معايا. يعني it
Okay.
doesn't like
Okay.
get ruined على
All
طول.
right. So you just specified what's important for you as a customer. Okay? So this is a measure, هذا قياس. This is a measure that companies will use to measure how good their product is in your perspective, in your perception. Okay? يعني from the eyes of consumer, how do they see the quality? So you just specified one measure. يعني يتحمل معايا قلتي لي صح? So how long it lasts? Okay, this is a measure that we could measure from the. يعني we know that it's important for customers. What else is important for customers?
I think the quality of the camera is important because,
Okay,
for example,
excellent example. Yeah, because what?
The quality of the camera of iPhone 11 is more than iPhone 7, for example.
Right. This is exactly why Apple has different levels or different types of iPhones. And those different types of iPhones have different cameras. Okay, they have different megapixels because they understand that some market segments are interested about the camera and some others are not. Okay, a lot of people just need a camera, a regular camera, not very sophisticated. But some people, some customers are interested in the highest resolution camera. So they have a special phone for them as well, a special feature for them for the higher resolution. Okay, so again, this is something to be measured from the perspective of the customer. How important is this to the customer? Okay, now, in a product, there will be some features that are not important at all to the customer. Let's say, for example, the color. Okay, so I have a certain market segment. And I know that for this market segment, the color is not important. They don't care about what color they want, they will get. So in this case, as a company, should I focus on providing colors to this market segment?
No.
No, I will focus on something else. I will focus on what's important for my market segment. Okay, maybe if I have market segment B, okay, so let's talk about market segment A, doesn't care about the color, but market segment B actually cares about the color. So for the product that I provide for market segment B, okay, I will, as a company, I will make sure I provide the right colors for the customers. Okay, so again, it's all about judging the importance of each feature, of each measure you have in the phone for your customers. Okay, so here we have in step 1 an importance scale. All right, so let's say the color feature. Okay, if the color feature is very important to your customers, then you will give it a score of 1 because this feature consistently provides a crucial advantage with customers. Okay, if a little bit less, you will give it a score of 2. Okay, so as you see here, there is a range of scores from 1 to 9. 9 means your customer has never considered color to be important. Okay? Has never considered this feature, whatever it is, the measure that you are measuring. Okay? It's not important at all to your customer. Okay? So again, score of 1 for the measure that is very important. Okay? Score of 9 for something that is not important at all. Okay, and you have also numbers in between, depending on the level of importance for customers. Okay, now we are going to do something later in the last stage, in the last step, we are going to do something with these numbers. So just be patient and I will show you what we are going to do with these numbers. Okay, now in step 2, we will judge the performance against competitors. All right. In step 1, we measured according to the customer. Now we want to see what our competitors are doing. An organization's performance of an operation is always assessed relative to their competition. So here, as an Apple company, I want to assess my work. I have to assess my performance. Okay? If I am consistently, considerably better than the nearest competitor, I will give myself a score of 1. So if I'm always better than my competitor, all right, I will give myself a score of 1. If I'm always worse than most of my competitors, I will give myself a score of 9. I can be somewhere in between. So maybe my score is 5 or 4. Okay, so it's not only either black or white. It's a scale, mizan, right? It's a scale where I can get a score from 1 to 9, depending how better or how much worse I am in relation to my competitors. Is it clear? Any questions?
Miss يعني تقصدي for example iPhone مثلا they produce iPhones that are green colored وسامسونج مثلا pink بس الكاستمرز they buy the iPhone
هلا خلصنا من الجرين والبينك. الجرين والبينك were examples of measures important to customers. I was giving you examples. يعني the battery life is an example, الكاميرا, الcolor. شو هن الفيتشرز اللي important to the customers. اوكي
لا انا قصدي في الكومبيتيتورز.
اوكي بالكومبيتيتورز نحن رح ناخذ overall performance. Okay, the overall rating as compared to my competitors. Which phone is better overall? Okay. شوفي نحن we're talking performance against competitor. We're not saying measures anymore. In the previous slide we said measures. Okay, but here in step 2 we are saying performance against competitors. يعني today في كتير مثلا you go on Google and you search what is the best phone, for example, what is the best smartphone for 2023. You will get a lot of ratings and a lot of specialists who will give you, according to scores and according to ratings, what is the best phone. Okay, so if the Apple iPhone is ranked first, it means that it is considerably better than the nearest competitors. This is done through marketing research. This is done through also experts' opinion and so on. Is the idea clear?
يعني they're talking about the performance of the company بشكل عام يعني the products, what do they do وهذه الأشياء.
Yes.
Okay, yes, I got it. Thank you.
Okay. Now, in step 3, we are going to match performance against characteristics. Okay, we are going to take the information from step 1 and step 2, and we are going to put them in a table, in a matrix like this. Remember, this is called a matrix. This is what the model is called. هو model يعني يعني it's like a theory. Okay, so this model says I will put my numbers in a model like this. Okay, on the x-axis I have the importance scale. All right, this is step 1 or step 2?
Two.
This is importance scale was step 1
One.
as related to the customer. Okay, here on the y-axis, I have the performance scale. So this is which step?
Two.
Step 2.
2.
Yes. And notice that on each axis, you have numbers from 1 to 9. 1 to 9. Okay? So now, if your importance scale is high, 9, remember 9 means very bad. Okay? Okay, let's go back. 9 means never considered. I don't mean bad in a bad way in quality, but 9 means the customer never considered this feature. He doesn't care about the color. Okay, so here, if it's less important for the customer in this zone, okay, and also at the same time, my competitors are always better than me because it's 9 on the performance scale. Okay, so this area, the orange area, we call it the improve area. All this area needs to be improved. Okay, so let's take this area, for example. In this area here, it's very important for my customers, right? Because it has a score of 1 and 2 and 3. It's important for my customers, but my competitors do it better than I do it. Okay, so it means that here, all of this area, I need to improve. Okay, now we know that we are in the appropriate zone here in the light green area. We are in the appropriate zone, which means we don't have to make lots of efforts to change anything. We are already doing things correctly. Okay, so if you improve, if you are in this area and you improve, you are wasting your time, your energy, your resources. You don't have to improve a lot. Okay, here you need to improve. Okay, now in the pink area, we have what we call the urgent action. The urgent action means all my competitors are much better than I in the things that are very important to my customers. Okay, so all the things that are important to my customers, my competitors do them much better than I do them. So there should be an urgent action for me to change the performance, to improve the performance in this area. Okay. Now, regarding this area, it's an excess zone. So remember when we said that some customers might not be interested about the color. Okay, so this is in 8 and 9. They are not interested about the color, yet I'm better than all the competitors in this area. Okay, so it means that I'm making extra efforts that is not needed. This is excess. It's extra effort that is not needed. Okay, so in general, by using this matrix, companies will know where they belong in terms of comparing themselves to the market requirements and also to their competitors. Okay, so this matrix can be used for direct improvement activity. It shows where urgent action needs to be taken and informs the analyst where no change is needed or where the operations performance can be deliberately lowered to save on resources. Okay, so for example, in the access zone, you need to lower your performance a little bit. It's not needed. Okay, so you could lower here. You will do whatever you are doing in the appropriate zone. You try to improve in the orange zone, and in the pink zone, there is an urgent action, something that needs to be done very urgently. Any questions?
No, miss, it's clear.
Is it clear? Okay. So this is all for today. If you have any questions about all the presentation for today, please definitely let me know before we